Get running this fall at Dunkin' with $2 medium iced coffees from 2 to 6 p.m. Try any of Dunkin's delicious iced coffee, like their signature original blend. Or treat yourself to mocha, caramel, or the fall favorite, pumpkin. Always freshly brewed, made just the way you like it. Make time for happy hour and enjoy a $2 medium iced coffee from 2 to 6 p.m. Washington, D.C. runs on Dunkin'. Participation may vary. Limited time offer. Exclusions apply.
You will solve the great mystery.
Streaming only on Peacock.
This is Robert Langdon. The suspect called him.
I teach symbology. He wants me to locate an ancient portal buried within the Capitol.
From the author of Da Vinci Code and Angels and Demons.
It's your dad. The people who took him want me to find a piece of a very old puzzle.
And executive producers Ron Howard and Brian Grazer.
We have to finish this or my dad is dead.
Dan Brown's The Lost Symbol. Streaming now with new episodes every Thursday. Only on Peacock.
What is it? Secret Teachings of All Ages, man. You got... Hello. Rockfin.
Welcome, everybody, on Rockfin, our most intimate of intimacies. With our little intimate friends. Mm-hmm. Little bitty intimacies. How y'all doing? Over. We just got started. What? Talk? You may talk.
Tonight, we are going to talk about Manly P. Hall. And I used to think Manly P. Hall was so deep, like a lot of people, like Secret Teachings of All Ages, man, you gotta read that. Like,
I like Secret Ages of All Teachings,
yeah.
too.
But I thought, since people talk about this book a lot, but I haven't seen a lot of shows on it, we could talk about Secret Destiny of America.
Yeah, and I'll say that my history with this, I've not actually read this book. I did read many, many years ago a good bit of Secret Teaching of the Ages, and I was not impressed. I never thought this was very deep and mystical, and ooh, he's going to talk about symbols, because I remember around that same time, I listened to a series of lectures on YouTube from Manly P. Hall, and I went through all of these lectures, and then at the end, he ended the whole thing by basically just saying, oh, by the way, the meaning of all this is just to adopt a socialist United Nations program.
Yeah.
So I was like, all that mystical jibber jabber, and the whole thing was just to try to sell me the United Nations Socialist World Government. I was like, that was so lame, man. It was such a anticlimactic ending to this, huge buildup with all this esoteric jibber jabber. So that's what it is. Unfortunately, a lot of this stuff is just jibber jabber. And yeah,
I like the art.
What art?
The art in the big Secret Teachings of All Ages, with the big plates with like Mephistopheles.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Those are
I forgot
cool.
It has a lot of visual imagery.
Yeah. So this book, we have this copy for now. But in the big ones, you have lots of paintings and
yes,
Atlantis and magic, things that come to mind when you're learning about all this stuff. So
I don't even remember what he sounds like. I would do an impression, but I literally don't even remember how he sounds. Somebody said he sounds nasally.
Here's what I learned about him personally. We went to the Philosophical Research Library in Los Angeles.
Yeah, I remember you saying this.
And they said he had grown so hefty that he required a giant chair, and they let us sit in the chair. Towards the end of his life, he was
a ham planet,
yeah,
as you said.
Yeah, pretty big guy. But
Manly P. Hall length. Manly P. wide as a hall.
He loved sweets, apparently.
Oh, come on, this dude was a creep. I mean, he was more than that, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. He knew so much about Freemasons, they made him an honorary.
Well, didn't they say, they used to say that Reagan gifted or was gifted his library?
I never heard that, but I heard...
Yeah, Mark Hackert has talked about it. Reagan was a huge Manly P. Hall fan.
Okay, well, it might have been safer with him because I heard Jordan Maxwell was supposed
Jordan
to
Maxwell.
get Manly P. Hall's library.
Let me ask Mark.
You know what?
I'll do it. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
I'll do it on air. It'll be amazing and cool and fascinating.
Well, there's some really
Lifetime
rare
research.
occult books. I mean, if these things are even real things, I mean, they could be just works of art, fake works of art.
Hello, Mark Hackard. Didn't you say at one point that there was some connection between Reagan and Manly P. Hall's library? You are live, and I will replay your answer live. So you better answer only in text. That's some secret shit right there.
This feels like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Phone a friend.
I want to be a millionaire. But Ethereum is not doing good today, so I don't know. They don't want to make us millionaires today. Ethereum went down a lot. That's all right. It'll go back up. We all know that. Anyway, go ahead. Where are we at?
Ethereum working.
So, give us, first of all, the overview of this book. It's 2 books, right?
Yeah. Okay, so it's Secret Destiny of America, which we'll talk about tonight, and then the second book was America's Assignment with Destiny.
Manly the Hall. This is what happens when you philosophize without exercise.
Manly the Hall. Well, he had like the Triangle Book of Saint Germain.
Manly P. Hall. The hull of a ship.
Oh, Hall, yeah. Let's see.
Manly P. Hulk.
Everyone thinks of that picture with him in the smoky
P for
30s.
pie. Manly Pizza Hall.
Oh, the P is for pizza. Yeah. That's funny.
Man Eat Hall. I'm trying here.
Manly Palmer Hall.
Yeah, again, shout out to Trent's Ladentro, who left $1,000 super chat yesterday. So I'm all about taking the week off because, you know, super chats is how you make a living in this game. And I don't know who Trent's Ladentro is, but dude, he gave us $1,000 super chat.
Thank you.
Plus, we also have now our endorsement, which we'll be getting to here in a moment. So we have a sponsor. Shout out to our sponsors. We'll get to chalk.com in a minute, but anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. So this book is based on some lectures that he gave at Carnegie Hall in 1942. So this is like right at the beginning of World War II.
And we know, I mean, Carnegie's, I mean, just because you lecture in a hall doesn't mean that you work for them, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Carnegie Endowment, you know, they weren't supporting Manly in these endeavors. They're one of the big, you know, wealthy families.
So this spans from like 1942 to 1944. And the whole thing of the book, the origin of the democratic ideal, which he, in my opinion, philosophizes it so hard that it turns into a religion. Democracy is now the god.
It is. I didn't realize that when I was watching those lectures, that's precisely where he ended the astrology lectures on YouTube, was that democracy is the voice of the people. That's essentially the voice of God. Vox Dei, Vox Populi, Vox Dei.
What did Osho say about democracy? Do it.
Democracy is no good. Democracy doesn't work because the people are retarded.
Yeah.
Democracy doesn't work because the people are retarded.
Yeah. What happens when everybody is retarded and they vote the way that they're
the
programmed to vote?
problem with democracy is that it typically is the favored type of government for an oligarch. And oligarchies like democracy because it allows them to appeal to the lowest common denominator and the biggest mass of number through base desires. I mean, there's an internal kind of logic to democracy that the way that you will, since everybody's equalized, what you want to then do is appeal to the biggest mass to win, right? So what's the easiest, best way to appeal to the mass? It's not necessarily what's the best or true overall. It's whatever is the most appealing to the most number of people. And that can easily, you see, give way to base desire. So the oligarch then has the advantage in a democratic, egalitarian society to manipulate, to socially engineer, and to debase the society so that they can easily, or in a more easy way, be controlled by their base desires. So food, sex, security, right? Maslow's hierarchy of needs just becomes a weaponized way for more sophisticated, devious, and malicious, wealthy, powerful individuals to manipulate a, quote, democratic society. And in my view, really, it only kind of works in theory or in really small village type settings. You can have kind of a democracy in those kinds of settings, but for gigantic, nation states, for the whole modern world being sold this bullshit of democracy, it's just ridiculous.
Like, I don't even want to vote on things that happen across.
It doesn't.
On the
it
other
doesn't
side
even,
of the world, why should I have
it doesn't
to
even
worry
make
about
sense, right?
that?
It doesn't make any sense. I mean,
They're
how is
different.
everybody going to be fitted to even grasp or understand really complicated areas of life?
Yeah.
Not everybody can be a statesman. Not everybody can do geopolitics. How is the mechanic going to be competent to make geopolitical decisions? It doesn't make any sense. Totally irrational. But, this goes back to the Enlightenment and the idea that there's there's a word for the perfect citizen of the Enlightenment, the idea of the fully educated Renaissance man citizen, because that doesn't exist. So there's no such thing as that.
Yeah. So the whole question of the book is how to set up a new order of world ethics firmly established on a foundation of democratic idealism. And he goes into they are recognizing the necessity of conceiving the world as one interdependent structure. So he's already creeping towards the global government.
Yeah.
Highly competitive economic policies will lead to war because mankind is selfish, and he's
presenting a kind of utopianism, right? Like,
Yeah.
we can get rid of war if we just have perfect democracy, right?
Yeah. Well, and then he's talking about personal selfishness is detrimental to personal happiness, and we have to concede that we don't matter in the scope of the party or the people. The individual is not as
Well, that's one
valuable.
of the problem. Another problem inherent in democracy is that it usually falls over into collectivism. So it's about the people, but then the greater collective of the people actually trumps individuals. So if you don't fall in line with the collective, now 51 wolves can vote on how to eat the sheep, or however that, what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
51% of the wolves vote on what to do with sheep, and 49% of the sheep. So
It was like Animal Farm. Remember that?
Animal Farm does deal with collectivism. It was actually supported by the CIA, so it was useful for them during the Cold War. But now, of course, the CIA just promotes all of the neoliberal version of collectivism that they're promoting nowadays. So anyway.
So then he goes into, he thinks that if you just educate people enough, they can learn to make the right decisions.
Yes, this is a classic error of the liberal, of the progressive, and of the ancient Hellenic Greeks, right? Because obviously Greek democracy, not the same thing as what today is called democracy, but that's where people think, they have this, the Western civilization and Greek democracy, or the freedom of the individual, all this stuff, which is supposed to be the ideological foundations of Western civilization. First of all, everybody knows now, I think, that the democracy of that time, of the ancient Greeks, is not what people today are talking about. That was landed men, like landowning men who had slaves and these kinds of things, right? So you see that in the Founding Fathers as well. They have the same philosophy that you don't get to vote unless you're, a land-owning male of a certain age and so forth. So democracy, ironically, always had, historically, some of those kinds of limitations that now today's, quote, Democrats or social justice warrior types, they would actually call those things all just oppression narratives, right? Supremacy narratives. So there is no real, quote, democracy. It's an amorphous, evolving concept that who knows what it means. It means whatever today's oligarch, wants it to mean, right? Like a Soros or something like that. So hence his Open Society Institute, right?
Yeah, so he's saying man's need is like for idealism to come true, and then his conscience will impel him to do the right thing. And
I remember what I was going to say. Yeah, so one of the problems with the Greek attitude towards man was that they thought all you needed was the right education. If you just give people enough social programs, enough facts, enough education, they will be virtuous. And it's just an older Hellenic presupposition. And one way to refute this is to point out the evil genius. I mean, the problem with mankind is not a lack of facts or education. Education can help a person be virtuous, but it doesn't necessitate that a person will be virtuous. And hence why you can have rapacious, $100 zillion dollar, mega IQ banking elites that rip everybody off. So high IQ, a lot of education, no necessary connection with virtue.
A lot of sociopaths are really smart.
Yeah, exactly. Right. There's this naivety in democracy about human nature and anthropology. That's the problem.
But the interesting thing about his proposition is that he thinks that this is an ancient way of thinking, and it's all part of a universal plan from
what exactly is an ancient way of thinking? Democracy?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's been handed down from Atlantis to Egypt to Greece.
So the democratic form of religion is a revolutionary faith?
Well, it's like an undercurrent that all of these men have participated in.
Who, the elites?
Yeah, from, Akhenaten to George Washington to we'll get there.
How can Akhenaten
be...
But hold on. So how can pharaohs be secret Democrats?
2. Exactly. So...
Pharaoh's not a Democrat.
We'll get there.
I'm sorry.
So is this a good plan or a bad plan? I mean...
Well, what's the plan?
That's what the whole book is about. We're going to discuss it.
Oh, okay.
So then he talks about nature and natural law. And like you said... he thinks if people are civilized enough that they will follow natural law and things will be peaceful and productive because of natural law. Right? So nature has a big part to play in there.
That's why the Illuminists, Weishaupt and those people, they just basically thought that all religions were just symbols of natural processes. So the whole thing with the Illuminati was literally just organized naturalism.
Yeah, so he says, thousands of years before Christianity, enlightened thinkers discovered the will of God as expressed through nature with a capital N in the affairs of men. And so it's this nature that is guiding them.
So they think basically that any religion is just a manifestation of, quote, nature.
Yeah.
Hence the generative principle, G, in the Masonic Lodge, right?
Right.
By the way,
so
Reagan repeated Manly P. Hall's stupid Masonic legends about a mysterious hooded rider coming to motivate the founders to sign the Declaration of Independence.
Hey, Jay. Yes, Ronald Reagan was a follower of Manly P. Hall.
I thought so.
And his esoteric teachings, and he read his books, and he was inspired by them. And one of the legends that Manly P. Hall laid out in his work was about a mysterious writer who came to the founding fathers when they were drafting the Declaration of Independence and told them to be brave because a new era of mankind was at hand or something to that effect. And Reagan repeated that in many of his speeches.
I didn't know that. You know that?
Kind of his remarks to crowds. So that was seemingly a big motivator to Reagan.
Interesting.
Yeah. Cool story, bro.
Actually, it was a cool story.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Thank you, Mark Hackard. Guest appearance by Mark Hackard himself.
That was like phone a friend. That might be in the part 2, which I'm not completely done with. But if it's not, thank you.
So remember, this is 2 books in 1 book, basically.
Yeah.
So what's the second book?
It's called America's Assignment with Destiny. And the first part is about Quetzalcoatl. So it goes all the way back to South America.
Okay.
So back to nature. So he's saying that for thousands of years, enlightened humans have passed down this thing he calls the Order of the Quest.
This sounds like this is National Treasure.
Of getting back to...
This is National Treasure.
Yeah, of getting back to Atlantis.
I'm on the Order of the Quest.
Yeah. I
It
wish
is Atlantis.
National Treasure should do a 3rd one with Atlantis and aliens.
They're going to.
That would be tight.
They already are going to.
As a TV show or as a movie? Anyway.
I don't know.
Okay, so our...
No, wait, didn't we see some bad news that National Treasure 3 was not going to have Nicolas Cage and be feminist or something stupid like that? That would actually be more accurate, right? The progression of the logic of the revolutionary system. We have like a trans...
It'll be
have a trans...
his long-lost sister.
A Muslim trans Nicolas Cage in National Treasure 3. It would be like the apex logical conclusion of the Americanist system.
Who is that guy that tried to scam me? Do you remember? He was an Indian guy.
My name is Jerry Smith. Jerry Smith.
Yeah, and tried to call me and tell me I was going to get arrested. And
So Jamie fell for the phone scams that everybody gets when the Indian dude calls you and says that we have your ID and you will be arrested within 1 hour if you do not pay right now. And Jamie was crying.
He's like, hang up. I was like,
hang
up.
up.
Take me to jail.
She's like, they're going to take me to jail. I'm like, what? You actually believe that stupid scam?
It's like, I am Jetty. What?
I was like, who wants his name? And you were like, he says, I don't know. And then she held the phone up. It's like, my name is Jerry Smith. I will give you my agent badge. I was like, dude, ain't nobody with your voice named Jerry Smith.
Yeah. They got me.
I was like... They took the stones from you. Like you're not an IRS agent. They took the stones from you.
He said the FBI's been watching me. And all this crazy.
Poor Jamie was over there crying, believing this. I was like, you can't tell that's a phone scam? Obviously that's a phone scam. To be fair though, it happened to me and it wasn't an Indian dude. It was just a normal sounding dude. And I thought that there was like this is the Social Security Administration. We have found suspicious activity and you will be arrested within 1 hour if you're not pay these. If you do not pay, I was like, what the heck? It was like when it was new too, right? Anyway, go ahead.
That was crazy.
Jerry Smith. My name is Jerry Smith.
You would be in very big trouble.
You're in very big trouble.
Yeah.
We'll be arrested right now. We have been watching for many years.
He got me.
She said that Jamie was affiliated with like Bin Laden or...
It was this whole big thing, like murders in the trunk. And I was like, what? I'm not being
The funny part was
that
that she was crying. Like she was literally crying. And I was like, hang up. And then later I was laughing and she was still upset crying. I was cracking up. I was like, you believe that?
Okay, we're at home with Jen, who is taking out the trash.
That's right. And goodness, look at that designer sweater and jeans combo.
Oh, she is nailing that cozy casual look.
Oh, she's opening the can, and the trash is in.
She is working that driveway.
Well, with Marshall's amazing prices on designer fall fashions, no one can blame her for feeling this fabulous.
Whoa! Oh, just look at that lipstick.
Better get to Marshall's.
Oh, I'm leaving right now. Fabulous brands.
Feel good prices at Marshall's.
You will solve the great mystery.
Streaming only on Peacock.
This is Robert Langdon. The suspect called him.
I teach symbology. He wants me to locate an ancient portal buried within the Capitol.
From the author of Da Vinci Code and Angels and Demons.
It's your dad. The people who took him want me to find a piece of a very old puzzle.
And executive producers Ron Howard and Brian Grazer.
We have to finish this, or my dad is dead.
Dan Brown's The Lost Symbol. Streaming now with new episodes every Thursday. Only on Peacock.
Poor Jamie.
We've been watching your car and...
We have been watching you for many days.
Oh.
You have drug in car,
And so...
body in trunk. And you are connected to known affiliated terrorist group.
the homeschoolers.
We should have actually just donated to that guy because of his creativity and his. I'm actually impressed, dude. You're like you're a cut above the normal Nigerian scammer, so I'll go ahead and give you some credit.
That was embarrassing. Anyway, don't get scammed by Pythagoras or Plato or Aristotle, Buddha, or Muhammad.
And I'm guessing that Manly P. Hall says that all of those wise men were members of his fraternity.
Yeah.
Of course.
All of them. Let's see. World democracy was the secret dream of the classical philosophers. They all agreed in.
Now, this one is a little absurd because, I mean, I'm pretty well educated in the philosophers. I've not read them all. I did study them at a grad level, though, and that is just simply not the case, that all of the world philosophers were agreed on world democracy.
Yeah.
No. Plato talked about how ridiculous democracy was. Aristotle did not favor democracy. Aristotle's the father of, I guess you could say, like a republic.
Jesus didn't talk about.
Jesus didn't teach democracy,
which he thinks is part of the club.
The ancient Pharaoh religion was not democracy. It was a fascist total worship Pharaoh.
If super
friends this is just ludicrous.
From South Park got together, democracy is what they're fighting for, right?
I mean, I don't think nobody could actually believe this unless they were ignorant of philosophy and then they just read this guy. I mean, nobody who knows much about philosophy would be duped by this. It's absurd.
So let's see.
I mean, there's a couple democracy proponents in the ancient world, but not the people he's talking about.
He said philosophy is trying to make free men, and it sees selfishness as the greatest crime against the common good. For selfishness is natural to all who are untutored. And isn't that word been used a lot in the past couple of years? You're selfish. Why are you so selfish? Everything you do, everything you choose.
Well, that's only the case for philosophers who promote collectivism. So there have been plenty of philosophers who promoted Adam Smith's type, laissez-faire capitalism. So, I mean, it's just this arbitrary selection of philosophers when you can find just as many philosophers who have the opposite view. So that's arbitrary in terms of philosophy. So we need to know what basis Manly P. Hall has for this ethic that selfishness is wrong. So we need to be clearer on our terms and what exactly. I mean, I believe it is wrong to be, quote, selfish. It requires some nuance to explain what we mean, because
that's true.
I mean, is it selfish for me to have private property? Is it selfish for me to have self-preservation? I mean, what exactly constitutes selfishness here? And it's not clear.
I would say a big part of Christianity is helping you overcome being selfish.
Yeah, sure.
But not in the way that these people are trying to sell it.
Yeah. So very overly simplistic, naive approaches to ethics and philosophy. Here.
He makes it clear that the post-war world should be one solid thing on this dream of the universal brotherhood.
So hence Masonry's universal brotherhood of man.
Yeah.
So there's this pseudo. What I've never understood about Masonry is the contradiction between we're egalitarian and everybody's equal, and then it's this hierarchy of grades that you listen to these masters. It's absurd. It's retarded.
With everything shrouded in mystery and.
Yeah, I mean, Albert Pike has a book called Morals and Dogma. He has a whole chapter how the Mason is free from dogmas. The book's called Morals and Dogma.
Yeah.
I'm not joking.
Yeah.
It's so dumb.
Well, guess what chapter 2 is? Akhenaten, the world's first Democrat.
Okay, so I don't believe that pharaohs are Democrats. So, I mean.
Here is the picture.
Did he draw that?
Akhenaten on the world.
That's the far side. That's Manly P. Hall's far side of Akhenaten.
Yeah. So he was the first realist.
By the way, shout out to the audience for that super chat. We'll get to that in a moment. And we got to catch up on some other super chats that we got this week on Rockfin. Tips. If you would like to support the show, please do support via the tip. It's much appreciated. Go ahead.
Man, we need to invite some more people over. What's going on?
What do you mean?
We need more people in the chat room.
It's a late night Rockfin exclusive premium stream, so that's usually only about 30 to 40 people.
Oh, okay.
Live. It'll get more views, so don't worry. Everybody loves you, Jamie. You know everybody loves you.
I love them too. I miss them. Where are you? Akhenaten was the first humanitarian, first internationalist. Manly P. Hall thinks in our collective type of life, the isolationist is a detriment to himself and a menace to all others. So there again, don't be selfish. Gotta be like Akhenaten. He is often referred to as the first civilized human being. He married his wife Nefertiti.
Well, so wait a minute.
Nefertiti, right?
Is this or before Moses? I thought the Masons like Moses. Don't they think Moses was a Mason?
I'm not sure.
Maybe Akhenaten's before Moses. I don't know the dating.
Some people think Moses was Akhenaten.
Oh, good point.
Let's see. Akhenaten Nefertiti. His mom was Queen T.
Queen Titi?
T.
Queen
Queen
Titty?
T.
Queen Latifah?
He became a ruler at 18, and he ruled for 17 years. He opposed the priesthood of Amun-Ra. Let's see. He proclaimed a new spiritual dispensation to escape his enemies and built a new capital. His new faith was Atonism.
Okay.
So a high priest of Aton is Akhenaten. That's where you get that name.
So I don't understand how it's democratic if it's a high priesthood.
Well, he's saying, I don't agree with the priesthood of Amun-Ra. Screw you guys. We're moving the capital away and we're going to start a new religion and it's going to be awesome. Me and Nefertiti.
Okay, so
we're going to be different.
Now but the religion that he's creating is democratic? I don't understand.
It's more egalitarian,
okay,
as we shall see. Let's see.
So he claims.
He was the first pacifist, realist, monotheist, Democrat, heretic, humanitarian, internationalist.
Now again, so if Genesis is correct, he's not the first monotheist. So that's just not true. So if the Jews are the Hyksos in Egypt, they were monotheists who brought the monotheism to Egypt. Mm-hmm. So that's Joseph.
Let me see if
Genesis.
I can find a year. There's no year here.
He'll just make it whatever year he wants. I don't trust
okay.
I don't trust these people.
Akhenaten, Pharaoh of Egypt, bore 1388 BC.
Okay, well that would be after Moses. So.
Okay. So yeah, he didn't really include Christian or Jewish in this.
Well, of course not. Manly P. Hall is not a Christian. Although they do pretend that Hiram Abiff and Judaism is Masonic, right? Mm-hmm. By the way, I'd like to add, if you guys would take a look, we do have our new sponsors, so we'll be getting more into this in depth in the next several streams. Chalk.com, they actually are longtime Jason also supporters. They've been a supporter for maybe 2 years or more. And they are a Patriot Austin-based company. And they got zucked and insta-banned. So they had a huge Instagram. They got deleted because of being pro health freedom and not buying into all of the existing nonsense with statties. And so now they have reached out to me, and we're going to be kind of partnered, looks like, as the deal moves forward. And so basically what happened was, being pro-male, pro-testosterone, etc., they called that hate speech and so forth. So they were actually removed, but their products are geared towards being like restoring lost testosterone. So they have like the chalk.com, which we've got on order right now. Tomcat 100 to 1 extract, which is wild harvested from Malaysian rainforest. It's a supercharge for like daily energy. They've got chalk, which is the classic heirloom cacao. The She Legit. It's legit. She legit.
She legit.
It's nutrient dense, delicious, genetically unmodified, and Klaus and Walmart can't touch it. Ding, 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 ding. Klaus and Walmart can't touch this. 100% organic stuff. All their stuff's organic. I'll be having some of their products in the next couple days. So looking forward to that. And so shout out to all of our buddies over at chalk.com. And also, if you do want to get some stuff over there, you can use the promo code J60, JAY60. And then you get 60% off their stuff. So like that's a pretty big. So anyway, the point is that like they have reached out and they really want to partner with me. So, and Jamie by extension. So anyway, they're really good. They're really good guys. They're woke. They're red pilled. They're based, and they had I don't know, like 150,000 something. It was a lot of Instagram followers, and they got nuked. So they reached out to me, and they were like, "Will you please, hook up? We love you. Let's do this stuff." So we eventually have a sponsor. So if you want to get your mojo back, right? You want to get into this chalk.com, right? Let's go back to what we're doing.
Wait, sing the song.
I don't have a song yet. Chalk.com. Chalk, chalk, chalk to chalk, chalk. Chalk.com. It's basically just a ripoff of 925.
Dolly Parton. Chalk.com. We'll think of a good jingle. We'll actually probably think of 10 jingles.
All right. So back to Manly P. Hall.
No, back to Akhenaten.
I'm sorry. Well, he's talking about it.
Yes.
Manly Pharaoh Hall. I have a friend whose mom named him Pharaoh. His middle name is Pharaoh.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. He did not believe that God was a warrior deity. He believed he was a father deity. So he is bringing religion to a very gentle place.
So he's trying to cuck religion?
No.
Yes, he is.
He's
Are you
just
talking about Akhenaten or Manly P. Hall?
No, Akhenaten.
Oh, okay.
He saw God as a creator, like a father creator, instead of a warrior riding
well, that
his
probably
chariot
comes
across the
right.
sky.
But so if you read Genesis,
yeah,
Abraham goes to Egypt and influences Pharaoh.
Mm-hmm.
Joseph goes to Egypt. It's a recapitulation and a recap. It's a recurring of what happened to Abraham.
Okay.
He goes to Egypt. Remember the story of Joseph?
Yeah.
And then it's recapitulated again when the Jews go into Egypt in Exodus.
Mm-hmm. So Akhenaten probably learned.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Whoever Akhenaten is or whenever it was, it probably came from the period when Joseph was there, because Joseph converted Pharaoh's daughter. Mm-hmm. Remember? Mm-hmm. He marries her. He marry her.
So this is a.
We love the long pork.
Ooh. This is a.
We were watching Pirates of the Caribbean, and I never noticed that guy has that line. They're like, "Can you tell me where Jack Sparrow is?" You like my Orlando Bloom?
Yeah.
I need to find Jack Sparrow. Me can't tell you, but me can tell you where you can find the long pork. Delicious long pork. Jack Sparrow, love. Jack Sparrow. Jack Sparrow. Doing my Jack Sparrow. You best hope. You best hope. You best believe in ghost stories. You're in one.
That's good.
Wait. What, now how's it go?
You best be believing in.
You best be believing in ghost stories, Jack. You're in one.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good Barbosa. What do you think?
Yeah. The Johnny Depp is more like
egregious. That's egregious, love.
Who does that?
Johnny Depp. Egregious.
Oh.
He always says egregious.
Man, you.
I'll have to work.
So
I'll work on my. I'll
work
on my Jack Sparrow.
You can smell.
There was quite a few innuendos I didn't notice. Yeah.
Oh, but I mean, like physically, like everyone is mucky.
Oh, dirty.
Yeah.
Okay, back to democracy and Akhenaten.
let's see, Akhenaten, he's a more gentle father. Like, this is the time where the kind of art changed too, instead of a giant.
Okay, I understand this. This part is somewhat plausible. Okay.
He's shown sitting with his 2 daughters and his wife instead of like lording over everybody.
Okay.
So Manly P. Hall thinks that his ideals line up with this universal brotherhood, unspoken, unwritten brotherhood that runs through the current of time.
Uninvited.
Yes.
Alanis Morissette.
Like, thanks for honoring me with that, but anyway.
Okay.
Then we go, let's see. Plutarch talks about Atlantis.
So is he pulling from philosophers like Plato that mention Atlantis?
Okay, first they talk about the Greeks going, like, all of these people visiting America before supposedly.
Plato is not pro-Atlantis. He talks about Atlantis being at war, I think, with the Greeks. They went to war.
Well, in this book they talk about the Atlantis War.
Mm-hmm.
There's a thing that went wrong, so that's in the next couple chapters. But now he's talking about, like, classical civilizations and all of their allegories, and, like, the Greeks and Chinese, and all of these people must have influenced our continent somehow, like planting seeds of the universal brotherhood of democracy. Here's your little mappy thing.
So he's saying that there's this the map of Middle Earth.
Yeah. Yes.
There's a bunch of creepy Democrats out there, Mr. Frodo.
Well,
stay away from the creepy Democrats.
America.
They're taking the Democrats to Isengard.
Yeah. Sam. Remember when he woke up and he's like,
Sam. Yeah, he does the soy face.
Yeah.
Soy
so
hobbit.
America is the mystical land of Middle Earth where Atlantis will rise again in democracy and do it right this time. Instead of the kings warring of Atlantis. We'll get there.
Okay, so let's move on.
All right.
We're going to have to do 2 parts because we haven't.
Yeah.
Jamie's still got to do the second book. So the book is 2 books, by the way.
Well, this might be a lot more by the rate
well,
we're
maybe
going.
we can do 3 then.
Okay. Let's see.
Working 9 to 5.
The astrology matches up. The constellations, like the
astrology matches up with what?
With this continent being some kind of mystical.
Yeah, right. How was the astrology match up with our continent? That is.
So the Golden Fleece, he says, is like the Declaration of Independence.
What?
Yeah.
This is literally some national treasure level shit.
Written on the skin of animal preserved with the magic
formula. This is national treasure level shit.
The magic formula of human hope.
What?
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. So is he just constructing like a humanist myth?
So first there was the Golden Fleece, then the Magna Carta, then the Declaration.
Okay.
And these are the basic texts of modern democracy. And then
okay.
It started in Europe. Well, I mean, the people that came over here were from Europe.
Okay. Right. I mean, Magna Carta is not a democracy document. It's just a limitation on the king by lesser nobles.
It's it's kind of baby. It's the English Bill of Rights.
Yeah.
That inspired the Declaration.
I understand.
Okay. So this was like a virgin continent ready to be impregnated with our seeds of democracy, right? He talks about being born again.
How does he interpret
as a separate race? The second birth is the enlightened intelligence out of nation and out of race into the international nation and international race.
Okay, so notice socialism and globalism are a religious conversion.
Yeah. Born again. He even says that.
appropriating what evangelical ideas.
He says,
I assume.
But unless a man be born again by enlightenment, he shall not be a part of the philosophic empire. So it's a certain kind of enlightenment.
Yeah, so
usually
globalism is the international true global Freemasonic order.
Yeah.
Right. That's the true enlightenment, the second birth.
Mm-hmm.
So notice the ideas of religion are just reappropriated over and over. That's all this is.
You want to do the one more chapter and then?
I don't know how long we've been going, but yeah, we'll do those.
Okay. 9:30, I think it was when we started.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
What's the next chapter?
Solon.
All right. Now this is important because you guys know we've talked a lot over the years about Timaeus, and the Timaeus is where Socrates, according to Plato, went and talked to the priests of Egypt, and he got all of the mysteries and the secrets. So the Timaeus is Plato's cosmogony and cosmology, the origin of the universe and man and everything. And it includes all of these mathematical principles and truths, which are actually right, which is crazy, but it's also kind of cloaked in a bunch of myth texts and mythology and gods and stuff. So the Timaeus is an interesting, fascinating, relevant document. Everybody should learn and be familiar with Plato's Timaeus. And I think Crito is, there's a couple other dialogues that mention Atlantis, but Solon is the person who went to Egypt to get the secrets of Egypt, supposedly passed into the Greeks, which is things like Pythagoreanism and Platonism.
Yeah, that's what this chapter is all about. So now we're on chapter 4, the first election of lawmakers. So we got Solon, the Archon of Greece, 595 BC. His first move was to attack the law of debt, which he thought that was the root of most of the problems in his society.
As in, like, people that...
Like debtor's prison and stuff like that?
Right.
Yeah. So he goes to Egypt to try and become a wiser...
Right, which is the Timaeus.
Leader.
Right.
He goes to the priests at Say, who
goes there?
Down.
Who be going there?
They serve Isis.
Captain Barbosa.
Calypso. Yeah. So one night they lead him down through this long, dark passage to this temple where he sees these two columns. And
Checking Boaz. Is that the column?
It was like metal. It says metal covered with a curious unknown language. So these are supposedly columns from Atlantis, which Egypt built itself on.
Right.
Because they were like, this is even older. It says the empire was ruled by the descendants of Neptune. It is Pirates of the Caribbean, dude. Right? And like Christopher Columbus, we're going to get to that.
Well, the Pirates of the Caribbean does appeal to this kind of mythology, and it does have Masonic elements, which we just noticed because we rewatched. We'll be doing a stream on Pirates of the Caribbean, but...
Yeah.
Welcome. We're here with Jess, who is enjoying a cozy night in.
That's right, and she's lighting up... Is that candle?
Triple wick pumpkin spiced? Yes.
Oh, she is setting the harvest mood.
Is that a tasteful autumnal wreath?
Someone's been to Marshall's again.
Well, with quality home decor at great prices, what's stopping her? Oh, and a cozy blanket to top it all off.
That is so fall. Better get to Marshall's.
Fabulous brands.
Feel good prices at Marshall's.
You did it. You woke up today. You even got out of bed. You deserve a reward. We can't all be morning people, but we can all get McDonald's for breakfast.
Right now, mix and match a Chicken McGriddles or a McChicken Biscuit for just $3. Order ahead on the Mickey D's app. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with combo meal. Single item at regular price. Mobile order and pay at participating McDonald's.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Whatever you're funny, Peacock's got it exclusively. Stream classic sitcoms like The Office, Parks and Recreation, and 2.5 Men. Plus, catch Peacock original comedies like AP Bio and Saved by the Bell. For all your exclusive comedy faves, go to peacocktv.com and get started.
It actually does have this Masonic, because if you remember, after part 3, they start to look for the fountain of youth, which is America, Florida.
Yeah. He's on a dinghy to Florida in the last one.
Right. Or in the third one.
So there
Dun,
was this
dun, da-da-dun,
land
dun, da-da-dun, dun, dun.
this land long ago.
Methinks you be needing a ship. The Black Pearl.
Yeah, fleets of merchant ships sailed the 7 seas and brought their wealth to the fabulous city of the Golden Gate.
So, and Manly P. Hall is literally trying to convince you a bunch of Disney shit.
Yeah. Bum, 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 bum.
Methinks you be needing a ship. Perhaps the Black Pearl.
I'm addicted to Barbossa impressions. I can't
this
stop.
empire was ruled by the 7 kings who were descendants of Neptune. The 7 kings resolved... They disobeyed the laws of the gods and tried to conquer the whole earth. So it's another like Titans type story.
Nephilim.
Yeah. The Atlantic Empire was forgotten from the columns. They have these laws that are given down from ancient times. Solon goes back to Greece. He tells his story to Dropus, who tells it to his son Critias.
Critias. Because that's one of Plato's dialogues.
Yes.
That's the other. And it's not Crito. It's Critias, Timaeus, and maybe one other dialogue mentions Atlantis.
He said it to his grandson, who later became the disciple of Socrates.
Yes. So that's how it gets to Plato's Timaeus.
And it was called Critias, and it's all about this stupid fairy tale Atlantis, or some metaphor for something.
Wait, what's a metaphor for something? Atlantis is the metaphor for the utopian society of egalitarian technological wonders, because in Francis Bacon's book, New Atlantis, it's supposedly predicting America.
Yes.
Because they knew that there would be another continent, and that they supposedly, the Rosicrucian, esoteric, Masonic brotherhood of that time period were like, oh, let's set up the great experiment in America. Let's test out our philosophy of this ancient brotherhood in America, hence possibly the reason for America's Masonic origins. Mm-hmm. That's some people's account.
That's all in this book.
Okay, so I didn't even know.
You didn't even have to read it.
I didn't even know what he wrote, and I already know what he wrote.
That's pretty awesome. And you always know what's going to happen in the movie, too, just by watching the trailer.
Right, so so East India Company, we'll do a whole breakdown of Pirates of the Caribbean, but yes, that's the origin of modern intelligence networks and the British Empire, obviously, and private corporation control of everything. So there's this corporate top-down system with, Commandant Beckett, Lord Beckett, and versus the Brotherhood of the Pirates, which is these people. Mm-hmm. They're all egalitarian, equalitarian brotherhood.
The Jolly Roger.
The Jolly Roger, according to Jordan Maxwell, is the Skull and Bones flag.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is that it's a Skull and Bones flag because the Skull and Bones flag is the flag that is the corporate people by the time of Skull and Bones society. So Skull and Bones is literally who's running the East India Company, basically. Mm-hmm. I mean, not in history, but I'm saying that to make this, it's like James Bond works for Spectre, right? Skull and Bones runs the East India Company and the pirates. That's the funny thing. But it's like a dialectic where the Brotherhood of the Pirates, which is run by Keith Richards, right? Like satanic rock and Rolling Stones, like as if they're not in accord with the satanic British East India Company and lords in England. They're all Masons. That's the point. Everybody in the British Empire, it's a Masonic empire. Mm-hmm. And America is the inheritor of the Masonic British Empire.
And bloodlines too, because...
Well, Masonry is based on bloodlines.
Keith Richards is Jack Sparrow's dad.
This is another thing that doesn't make sense about what he's saying, is that Masonry has always had in its inner teachings an importance for bloodlines. But he's saying, oh no, we're egalitarian socialist, bloodlines don't matter to us. That's all bullshit.
Yeah, it's the whole, anybody can join us if they work hard enough and if they learn stuff.
Pull yourself up by your bootstraps,
and you
Bootstrap Bill.
Join our secret society and...
Me think you're looking for Bootstrap Bill.
Bootstrap Bill, get it?
Yeah.
Pirates, Bootstrap Bill.
I get it all. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
Pull yourself up by your bootstrap bill.
And
dun, 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 dun.
if you're smart enough, you'll know all the right things to do and always be prosperous and noble. It's really dumb. Do you want to do chapter 5? Are we having fun? We got some more people.
Well, we got a lot of super chats, and we do have 50. Yeah, if you want to do one more chapter, we can.
Talk about this goofy Atlantis. So, okay, not only are the Pirates of the Caribbean battling the corporations and the pirates and the class systems and the British, then they've got these supernatural characters, Davy Jones and Calypso, and
this is turning into our pirates analysis. What do you wait?
Dude, he just said that the kings of Atlantis were sons of Neptune, and he believes this is true.
What's true?
History. Manly P. Hall.
He didn't really believe that. I don't believe him.
Did what's his face? John Bacon? What's his name? Francis Bacon?
Well, I don't think Francis. No, his not. He's saying it'll be like a technocratic wonder.
Okay.
He's not saying it's going to be. He's not talking about myths.
Okay, so at first there were 7 kings, and then there was 10 kings. I was kind of confused about this dumb tale
of Atlantis.
Yeah.
From Neptune. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, it says, interpreted politically, it is the story of the breaking up of the ideal pattern of government. So, according to him, the ideal pattern of government is like 10 sons of Neptune. Let's see. The capital city of Atlantis stood the temple.
That sounds like oligarchy to me.
Temple of Poseidon, and in it was the golden figure of the god. 10 kings of Atlantis should never take arms against each other. This is like ring stuff.
What stuff?
Lord of the Rings stuff.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, I'm sure that...
Knights, what's that?
The Round Table.
Round Table, yeah.
Well, they're all just borrowing from old myths and stories. So Lord of the Rings is just based on old, Nordic myths.
So he's saying Plato describes the government in the Golden Age. Men lived according to the laws of earth and laws of heaven. So again, in like accordance with nature, you can do magnificent things like water bending and stupid stuff like that, right?
Yes. Isn't there a New Age woman who does YouTube that says that we were jelly bean people in Atlantis?
Yeah, she's like...
in Atlantis, we were like gummy berry. We had gummy
we
bear
had
bodies.
less dense bones because
we're jelly people.
We had water habitats and we had jelly beans.
I'd like to know how she came to that conclusion.
Let's see. The League of 10 Kings was this cooperative commonwealth of mankind in
gummy bears,
natural form and proper
bouncing here and there and everywhere.
Adventure beyond compare. So in the Gummy Bears of Atlantis is the archetype or the pattern of a right government, a monarchist. Okay, Plato was a monarchist. The king was the father.
The philosopher king.
He belonged to the order of the Illumined. Plato's monarchy was a philosophic democracy, which is Manly P. Hall's.
I don't know where he gets anything to do with democracy. I mean, Plato literally called it retarded and stupid. He was opposed to democracy completely. The Republic is not a democracy. It's a top-down philosopher king control system. So that's
his
totally
whole
not
thing
true.
is man has this will to become whatever he can be through self-discipline and self-improvement. He can be aristocracy by natural law, by working on himself. Let's say the citizens of Atlantis were really happy. They had no poverty. It was utopia. There was a world trade.
So
no crime.
It's funny because these people make fun of Christianity, but then they literally are appealing to people that believe in myths.
There was no crime. There's
bro,
art.
Atlantis was like so cool, bro. Like everybody was just like in peace or whatever, and nobody fought.
They bounced around on gummy berry juice.
Everybody was just like chill and like really stoned on gummy berry juice.
And when they
like
had conflict, they couldn't hurt each other because they were
chill buzz, bro.
They were too gummy.
Gummy berry sacrament for all society.
And they worshiped Poseidon. They had a communal existence.
Why is Poseidon the ideal deity? I mean, the waters of the ocean are always in like turbulent, so I don't understand why is Poseidon the ideal deity?
It's an island nation or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but as a deity, why would he be the ideal deity?
Yeah, I don't know. So he's saying selfishness and ambition destroyed Atlantis. The kings decided to use their common power to enslave all the peoples over there. So greedy kings.
So now I know why there's the Neptune Atlantis theme, or Uranus or Neptune is Now I know why there's the Neptune theme in a bunch of movies like Dark City, because for the Masonic Gnostic attitude, it's like their ideal city.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever been to? Anyone who's ever been to Liverpool will see Neptune
I'm sure we have Brits,
everywhere.
Brits in the audience.
Poseidon everywhere. Fish people everywhere. Like
fish people.
Yeah, like half fish, half people.
Remember the Lovecraft B movie Dagon?
Yeah.
All the fish people that
we
attack you.
Photos of the weirdest.
Remember the Starbucks chick seduces him. She's like the Starbucks chick with her two legs spread. And they're like eel tentacle things.
Yeah. What's that called? A Skyla?
The goddess on Starbucks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Something like that.
That has something to do with America too.
Really?
Yeah. We'll get there.
America's nasty coffee. Nasty social justice coffee.
So a new aristocracy can be formed. Let's see.
The Black Pearl.
So something went wrong. They had their ring fight when the ring was broken. And
what? Like Lord of the Rings? Huh?
I'm just saying he doesn't go into detail about why the kings wanted to enslave all the people of the earth, and nature came against them.
So enslaving people is unnatural. Well, yeah, I agree with that, but it doesn't require all of his like Freemasonic stuff to realize that.
So Zeus killed Atlantis.
And why is he promoting a globalist world order if he thinks that it's wrong to enslave people when the globalist world order is based on slavery? I mean,
he doesn't
crazy.
know that. He doesn't.
Yes, he does.
He
knows that.
You think so? Okay.
I think these people are liars, like Morals and Dogma Pike, and that they have a public thing they tell people, and then they have an inner doctrine, which is that the slaves will serve. Oh. What do you I mean, that's what Crowley says.
Crowley says exactly that, the slave shall serve.
I don't think these people are actually democratic men of the people.
No, democracy is just a thing to let off steam and keep the pressure away from who actually does things.
This is a whole philosophy of elitism. How could it be democratic? Because this is all predicated on everybody being profane, not being initiated into the mysteries. It's a hierarchy. How could it be democratic? That makes no sense.
Yeah. So he's saying this order of the quest is to make everything go back to the way it was in Atlantis.
So the order of the quest is people at a certain level of masonry, or all masons or all men?
Whoever he just in his book, like in his mind, dictates whose values aligned with what he's trying to say.
So anybody who is a Democrat or part of this revolutionary philosophy in his mind is a fellow traveler
in this invisible college.
Invisible College of the Order of the Quest.
Yes.
But there's not a specific group within the Masons that's like Order of the Quest.
No, there is some people who did that, like Adam Weishaupt and like Francis Bacon and those guys. Mm-hmm. But to go all the way back to Akhenaten, he's just saying that because.
So long story short, National Treasure, Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, basically.
That's what we're.
That
That's
is
the
secret
end
destiny.
result. The secret destiny of America is just watch National Treasure and Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah. You got
And then the highest level of all the mysteries is to watch Lost Boys, right? Or like Dagon.
You're in one.
You're in one. You best be believing in ghost stories.
You best be believing in democracy.
You're in one.
Right?
Neo-feudal, global, world socialism, techno-fascist dictatorship is, yes, all the same thing. Exactly. Let's catch up on some of the super chats. We got shout out to our new subscribers. We got a bunch of new subscribers. Shout out to Mitchell Eugene, Chandler Hatcher, Edwina Young, Michael Parker, Eric Wagner, Steven Schweigart, and Enoch Root. That's a damn Mennonite name right there. We got Mennonites signing up. Enoch Root? That's a Mennonite. That's an Amish dude. This channel is so popular, Rockfin has now drawn in the Amish niche. Anyway.
Nice.
Let's see. We got to scroll back. Do you want to read some of these?
Yeah.
There's a lot, so I don't know if I can go all the way back, but you can do there.
Okay. Motion blur, $5. You're awesome, man.
Thanks, bro. You're all blurry. I can't see you, and you can't see me. Motion blur.
Dickie,
No, right
account $42. Can anyone tell me the title of the essay mentioned at 3740?
It was, you just have to Google Frater 616 Satanic Confession Essay, and it comes up. But you might have to look on the Wayback Machine. If you go to Mackow's site, henrymackow.com, he has links to the original, which you have to look up on Wayback Machine to read the full 20-page essay by the Satanist guy.
Dickie Ramirez, $2. That's it. Dave Geminer, $5. Sarah Moore, $5. Yuri, come on. Svagenstev.
That's a name right there.
Svagenstev.
Yuris.
$2.
Svagenstev. I'm assuming
that's worth $2 to pronounce that. Okay. Tina Hagen, $2. Thank you. Ricardo Sarmiento, $2.
Ricardo Sarmiento.
Not the first time I've heard an atheist choose to deny the possibility of knowing anything at all rather than abandon their worldview. Totally insane.
Yeah, so I think he's commenting on, the 4 hours of debating atheists audio that we put up. And exactly, I would totally agree, Ricardo. They're willing to double down on the most absurd positions to maintain their atheism. Right here.
Dickie Ramirez, $5. Hudson Amberglass, $2.
Ambergales.
Oh, Ambergales.
That's a name right there. Hudson Ambergales. He sounds like he would be like the football quarterback.
Hudson
who's
Ambergales.
Like, he's breaking the hearts of the cheerleaders.
Mm-hmm. T-Money, $2. T-Money Martin.
T-Money Martin. Yeah. That's a damn pimp name right there. T-Money Martin.
T-Money.
Just holla at your boy T-Money Martin right now. You get a fresh paint job on that Cadillac right now.
Well, Emmanuel, $5.
Longtime supporter. Shout out, Well Emmanuel.
Cucumber Broccoli, $50. Thank you. Hey, Jay, I know you're all
religiological and shit. I like that word.
Religiological.
It's a new word, religiological.
But what do you think of this guy that I'm about to show you? I know your first reaction is to say, oh, here's a psychopath, but I think in this day and age, who is psychopath will no longer matter because of what this world has unknowingly unleashed.
So the video was from BitChute, and it was I think it looks like a messianic Judaistic person who was talking about human trafficking. So I don't know if he means what the video is talking about or the guy that makes the video, but I don't typically get into the domain of the Messianic Judaism stuff. So don't know who that person is. I can't really comment on that, but I appreciate, $50, and I will I did check out the video.
Charles Evans, $20.
Thank you, Charles.
Bio Digital Goblin, $10.
That's a name. That's actually his birth certificate. Bio Digital Goblin.
Andrew Ray, $20. Do you have any suggestions for a book on logic?
The problem with a lot of logic books is that they're usually geared towards a more technical, like taking a college class audience. So there's not a lot of easy logic books. But if you go to Father Deacon's channel on YouTube, Norwegian News, he is putting up logic lectures and philosophy lectures right now that are free. So that would be an easier way to go about it. And then he also, if you join his class, he will give you the logic book that they use.
Okay. Jethro, $2. Jay, when is the big debate with Phil Hendry? If he won't debate, then get him in the octagon. Lol.
I don't know who Phil Hendry is. So thank you for that, Jethro, longtime supporter and mod. Who I don't. Who is Phil Hendry? Should I know, or did I just not remember? Or is this a joke? He's probably making a joke, but I don't know who is Phil Hendry.
All right.
You don't know?
No.
Well, he needs to step into the octagon if he's not going to debate. That much I agree with, and I don't even know who it is. American radio personality? Never heard of him. What does that say? Voiceover artist. So he does a lot of voices.
Does he do a lot of impressions?
He probably does. Oh, he does voices on Team America and Rick and Morty. So anyway, what does he want to... I'm guessing I don't know if you're joking or... Oh, that's the guy that did the Sky Daddy thing. Oh, I didn't realize that was him. Dang. Okay, so the voice actor dude was the dude that was talking smack to me. And I said he wasn't aware of basic philosophy. Yes, I remember that now. Yeah, that would be funny to... Maybe we should have a debate. Jay says, say my name. Jay.
Say my name, say my name. No one is around.
Well, thank you guys for those tips. That was actually pretty fun. So what's up next in the next section?
Roman project to give rulership to the wise.
Is this about the Roman Empire?
The democratic tradition. We've got
in secret societies, Rosicrucians.
We've got Columbus. We've got Nostradamus.
Now we know he's full of shit.
We've got utopias and secret societies and Francis Bacon and Machu Picchu. Bacon's missing chapter. The unknown man who designed our flag.
What does that mean, missing chapter?
There's a chapter of his New Atlantis that was unfinished when he died. Yeah.
Okay.
And it supposedly has a lot of clues in it, and it's been published now. You can read it.
Thomas Paine. Well, we know he's a Mason, famously.
There was a unknown man who was there at the signing of the Declaration of Independence who got everybody to sign.
Sounds like another one of these myths.
It sounds like Mark Twain Tall Tales, or John Bunyan, or Great American Clandestine Tales.
George Washington could not... What's the cherry tree bullshit?
Yes.
Like he could not lie.
Stuff like that. So this book is full of it. Great Seal. Where did the Great Seal come from? The prophetic dream.
So he's just telling...
Exactly.
He's just making up stories.
So here's this prophetic dream that he had where Washington came to him in a dream. And
Wait, he says George Washington came to him in a dream?
No, this guy named General McClellan.
Oh, okay.
Saw George Washington in a dream. Just,
So the Bible's superstition
tales.
And silly, but not this.
This is like the tall tales of America and its secret destiny.
All right, thank you guys. Everybody have a good night.
Bundling home and car insurance with Geico is so easy, your neighbors are probably already doing it. But who? They may drop little hints like,
beautiful day out. Even more beautiful since we saved by bundling our home and car insurance with Geico.
or
Yard work is hard. Much harder than bundling with Geico, which was easy.
it may be even subtler, like,
Speaking of burgers, we bundled our home and car insurance with Geico and saved a bunch of money.
bundling is easy with Geico. Just ask your neighbors.
And now it's Geico's Motorcycle Rules of the Road. Before you ride, make sure your mirrors are clean and adjusted properly. And if you're going on a group ride, make sure the lead biker knows where they're going.
Ed, quick question. Where are you taking us?
Oh, I have no idea. Well, am I the leader? Because I was following that dude with the red helmet. Where is he?
And the rule to saving on motorcycle insurance is, in 15 minutes, Geico could save you 15% or more.
You will solve the great mystery.
Streaming only on Peacock.
This is Robert Langdon. The suspect called him.
I teach symbology. He wants me to locate an ancient portal buried within the Capitol.
From the author of Da Vinci Code and Angels and Demons.
It's your dad. The people who took him want me to find a piece of a very old puzzle.
And executive producers Ron Howard and Brian Grazer.
We have to finish this, or my dad is dead.
Dan Brown's The Lost Symbol. Streaming now with new episodes every Thursday. Only on Peacock.